Hello. In this third tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to continue working on this rig that we're creating here. And as you can see, we have a bunch of these different points here, and these points are then hosted by points, and these points in turn are hosted by a point that's hosted on a reference line. So that was crystal clear, yeah. And the second thing I'm going to do now, or the first thing I'm going to do now in this tutorial, is that I'm going to take these points that I have here. They're associated with the point, the origin point. I'm going to place these points at the intersection between these lines. I'm going to place them at the value 0. So I go down here to my parameters, 0, apply, and I get this warning message basically saying I have 3 different points in the same position, and that's fine. Now the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start flexing these parameters that I have here. I should have done that earlier, but those are the breaks. So here's my bottom offset parameter, and it basically stipulates the distance between these points and this point, and I'm going to call that 1 meter. And they pop in, and you can also see that these guys at the top here, they also flex accordingly. I'm going to change this top offset parameter. I'm going to say you're going to be, actually it can be 9 meters. And they pop up. Let's see there. Yep, there they are. Second thing I'm going to do, well, I'm going to flex the second row of parameters here. So I go with 2 bottom offset, and I'm going to say that you are going to be 2,500 millimeters. And then I'm going to say that the top offset of these guys is going to be 8 meters. Flex them, and they come right up. And then I continue on with the next one, and it's going to be placed at 5 meters. Come in. And so you're going to be placed at 7,500 mil. So it's a center top offset. There you go. And I was going to say that these guys are going to be placed at 7,300. I'm going to go along this path just to see that every single parameter is flexing the way I want them to do. So I can take the next one, and I can say this one's going to be at 7,500 mil. You can see they all come back in there. And I said that this one is going to be at 7 meters. The top offset is going to be at 6,800, for example. That's fine. Yep, and they come right up. So I go all along this path just to see that every single one of these guys update accordingly. There they are. There that one is. And then we try to take this guys and say it's going to be 6,300. So I can either drive them by their millimeter value, or I can drive them by their metric value if I put an M at the end there. So center top value, and that can be 6 meters. It's going to be 5,500. So 14 meters. I'll pop right out there. And then I have the next one, this one, center top offset value, that can be, it can actually also be 6 meters, since we're going to assign an angle parameter to it. And the center top offset there on the side, or the side top offset value there, that can be 5 meters. And there we go. So I have all these points now, and as you can see, then they come down in a bit of an angle there, and that's fine. The second thing the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these points that I have here, like that. So I marked them all. I'm going to use the spline through points tool up here. I'm going to say you're going to be a reference line. Come back up here again. That one, and I say you're spline through points as well. Your reference line. same thing for the center segment here. So I just can hold down control and mark my points. And you can see I also need to mark the top point I have up there and the spline through point too. And that's fine. So here I have three different reference lines, and they will come down here in a fairly decent angle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark these three reference lines I have here. 3 different reference lines, and I'm going to use the create form tool, and there we are. There's the very beginning of our roof. And as you know, we have all these points, so if we flex them accordingly, I can either click on the 3 or the parameter value here, and I can change the top offset value and say you're going to be 9 meters. The values pop up there, or I can just hover in here, click on this one, and I can just change it as I see fit. And as I change it, obviously this contains the same parameter, or this point contains the same parameters, so it also updates accordingly. That's great. So I think I'm going to pause the video there, and then we're going to continue on in the next one. So thank you for